All right, investors. How you doing, investors? This is day 68. And don't forget, this week right here will be a bombshell week for the Karmelo Anthony appeal process and the new legal team. Yes, this week right here. But let me go and take care of the algorithm. Karmelo Anthony case, day 68. I got to pause. The black community, we have been standing strong. I remember when, we were like, this is day 9, this is day 10, this is day 20, this is day 30, this is day 40. We are in day 68 of standing strong for Karmelo Anthony. We've been screaming, free Karmelo Anthony, wrongfully convicted. I believe Karmelo Anthony. And this is it. Woo! What else is in the Collins County partial transcripts? We had a part 1 when we went over Mike Howard's defense attorney closing arguments. Part 2 was the prosecutor Bill Whiskey closing arguments, which actually I gave him a higher score than Mike Howard, because what Bill Whiskey put in his closing arguments was actually more damning to the state's case, if people just actually think about it. And then part 3 was on the medical examiner, Dr. Elizabeth Ventura's testimony on the oath, where, it was some bombshells in there. That video is still going. I'm going to say viral in my world, especially being a small channel. Woo! The information that came out of that, and the information that more and more investors or viewers who's just stopping by just to look at the content, woo! Bill Whiskey was the one that actually brought up the impalement term theory in the Dr. Ventura's cross-examination. That was intense. Jane Duggar, the Collins County court script reporter, you captured the intensity in that. Now I'm gonna give you credit for that one. But it actually was the prosecution that brought up the impalement theory. But then going back to part 2, the way that he came off, or the way that Jane Duggar wrote it, she captured it in the transcripts. It made it seem like he was getting upset that the defense brought it up. And I guess, just like Mr. Shuck went back and double cross examined Dr. Ventura. He said, did I bring up the word impalement? And she said, no. He said, I rest my case. So it actually was the prosecutor, y'all. I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to hold it together. It's funny, y'all. It's funny. They know exactly what happened under that tent, but they refuse to tell everybody the truth. But we know, so let me go ahead and finish taking care of this algorithm, because what's going to happen today? We had volume 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I think that's what it was. I'm going to randomly select another volume, because it seemed like every time I just select one, it just keep building. And we find some information out that we didn't know about. But actually, Mr. Shook, when he described that force under the tent of the moving of the body, and how the medical examiner was talking about the womb looked like it came from the front to the back versus in and out, I said, oh, hold on, what's going on? And y'all, did y'all pick up? Let me put my glasses on, because I'm gonna take them off. Y'all. Welcome to Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports. Make sure you go and get your notes, your drink, and your vest. I don't have my glasses, but did y'all take notice of the lining, the questioning, the line of questioning? It was very odd to me. And I said, we're in an active courtroom setting. The defense go up. He's describing hypotheticals. Now, follow me now. The defense is describing hypotheticals. The prosecution is describing hypotheticals. And I said, why are we describing hypotheticals versus exactly what happened under the tent? You got Karmelo Anthony sitting right there, who has been charged with first-degree M-word since he was the age of 17, being sitting in a courtroom at the age of 19, and his life is flashing in front of him, and you, the prosecution, is talking about hypotheticals with the medical examiner. Why wasn't they talking about the real facts of the case? Why, if you got Karmelo Anthony sitting there, you already know what the weapon was that was used, right? Why are we talking about hypotheticals? Y'all, it's something that we already know that. We already know that. I really enjoyed part 3, y'all. I really enjoyed part 3. I enjoyed part 3 so much, I went back and I cut a segment out of it and I made it his own separate video, and that is getting much love too. So thank you to all of the investors, all of the ones that sit behind the screens, don't have the ability to type or text or decide just to be a silent investor. I thank you too, because the information that has been coming out in these partial transcripts. And once again, thank you, Nikki, for telling me about what we're going to talk about 4 lives ago back, that these partial transcripts was out here. So tonight I'm going to randomly select one and we're going to move forward with that, okay? Well, let me go and take care of the algorithm. But Karmelo Anthony, day 69, I'm sorry, day 68. What else is in the Collins County partial transcripts? Part 4, free Karmelo Anthony. Tonight, we're going to continue with part 4 of an examination of the Collins County partial trial transcript connected to the Karmelo Anthony case. The deeper we go into the courtroom record, the more questions there are to examine and question. Let's see here. We're going back to the actual words spoken in court. No headlines, no social media summaries, or no one else interpretations. Hey. As Karmelo Anthony case moved through its next legal stage, understand the trial record becomes increasingly important. So this week here, we have 72 hours before Karmelo Anthony and his defense, a team led by Dr. Russell Wilson, exactly 72 hours this upcoming Wednesday, y'all. This upcoming Wednesday will be the first motion to recuse John Roach. And the very next day on August the 20th, it will be the motion for a new trial. That's why I said this week right here will be pivotal in the Karmelo Anthony appeal case, trial, headlines. Oh gosh. Y'all just be ready for it. Y'all be ready for it. Y'all be ready for it. Y'all be ready for it. Okay. As the Karmelo Anthony case moved through its next legal stage, understanding the trial record becomes increasingly important. And hopefully these are some of the same trial records that they're going to bring up in day, what's this, August the 20th, the second day for the motion for a new trial. Okay. We'll continue to document and analyze what happened inside of that courtroom and what portions of the record could be significantly during post-trial and appellate process, y'all. Now, so I'm going to ask you, what else can we learn from the portions of the transcript currently available to the public? Now, I don't know for the people that actually probably paid the $2,500. I hope it included the full transcripts, but what we working with over 600 to 700 pages, good enough for me. It's good enough for me. And once again, I know Mike Howard brought up in his closing statements, he talked about 2 wounds. I haven't seen that in the prosecution closing statement, nor the questioning to the medical examiner, but who knows, that could have been redacted out of there. But hey, Jane Duggar, if she has redacted it from the other parts of the transcripts out of volume 8 and volume 6, she missed one in Mike Howard's closing statement. Let's keep going. Also, what did the prosecution tell the jury? We went over that. What did the witnesses testify under oath? I think, y'all, let's do that one tonight. I'm gonna try to find a volume. Let's see what the witnesses said. Because one thing that the prosecution did say, they were nice, they came from good families, but they was just mistaken. I said, that sounds like witness tampering. And he also said the witnesses, even though they had different accounts, their attention was not there. Their attention was everywhere, but they pieced the story together. That's what the prosecution say. Hey, that's what he said. If you caught part 2, I read it word for word. We pieced the story together. What was challenged by the defense? what are these statements that are taken on complete? What are these? What are their statements that are taking on a complete different significance when we examine along other testimonies? So let's go for it, investors. Well, welcome to Tony Talks once again. Welcome to Tony Talks once again. Let me go ahead and close this right here because I want to start off with this right here. All right, investor, come on with it. I want to start off with this right here. Let me.
I think Russell Wilson gonna call him out and cross-examine him tough on what he was told to do by this judge to making sure the public didn't have access. That may be.
Come on with it. Come on with it. Listen. Thank you so much, brothers. Thank you so much, brothers. Hey, Sylvester, you was right on time. What's up, Rashida? How you doing, Rashida Davis? You was right on time. Don't forget about the Stoller update. So that is exactly what our two brothers, legal brothers, were talking about. As we know, last week, Karmelo Anthony new legal team, they did subpoena the media POC for the courtroom. Now, I watched, and I wish I would have had queued up Chris King video that he did about Stoller. Now, from what he said and what he's hearing, allegedly that Judge Roach and this media guy Stoller, right? I think he said they're cousins. And so if Judge, and it's not funny, y'all. It's really not funny. But sometimes what's the old saying? Sometimes you got to laugh instead of crying. That John Roach, and if he could easily do this in Collin County, Texas, just imagine how often this has went over and done in the courtroom across America. They are using, and some judge, as we're finding out, and we already knew about, but this is concrete evidence in less than 75 days since Karmelo Anthony was found guilty, that John Roach has used his legal authority, his legal role, and his legal courtroom to do whatever he wanted to do to violate Karmelo Anthony legal case, his legal rights, his civil rights, his judicial rights. I mean, everything that all judges most definitely supposed to uphold, especially being a judge as a neutral party, which we already know that John Roach, he basically said with his chest less than 48 hours after Karmelo Anthony was convicted that he said basically that the jury did everything right. What? And we also heard in that infamous 18-minute video that he cared more about the witness and their testimonies and making sure that the witnesses did not change their story. You don't have to believe me. Just go out and listen to that 18-minute video that came exactly out of John Roach's mouth. I told you from day one when I was up here. Now, this is Mr. Wilkie talking to the jury and the court. He said, I told you from day one when I was up here for reasons unknown, what's not important is the motive. Does that sound like a prosecutor? Do y'all see this right here? This is proof. This is proof that Karmelo Anthony was railroaded. Even without the gentleman's agreement, if we didn't know that, what prosecution? Now, this ain't the defense attorney. This is the prosecution saying what's not important is the motive. What? What should be interest to you is mindset. Okay, mindset. He took this is, y'all, we gonna talk about this right here. They wanted, the prosecution just wanted the jury and everybody in the courtroom just to focus on the mindset, which the mindset, look, he said he took the knife to the track meet. He had a secret. He kept it hidden until he used it. He no doubt felt empowered that he was going to come out on top of any hostile encounter. See, this is what I was saying. When you go back to volume 8 and you watch part 2 of me having the prosecution saying they mess with the witnesses, whatever. No, listen, the prosecution is always bringing up a hostile encounter. Karmelo being surrounded, Karmelo being jumped on, Karmelo being ganged up. Those words are not coming from the defense attorneys. Y'all saw some of the line of questioning from Karmelo's anti-defense attorney. It is the prosecution that keep bringing up hostile encounters. Karmelo's being jumped. Was he surrounded? Was he ganged upon? How many people are surrounding him? The prosecution knows what happened that day. The prosecution has actually done more for Karmelo Anthony Case unknowingly. Oh gosh, y'all, we listen. This is going to be good. This right here is crazy. This whole entire thing was crazy. Look at this. I told you from day one, this case is simple, and is indeed that simple, that all irrelevant facts within the relevant law and that equal murder, plain and simple, unjustified, provoked. Look at the words that he's using. Look at the words he's using. That's what you folks have heard from these witnesses. Unjustified, not self-defense, provoked. Do you see this? And look at this. You cannot provoke your way into using deadly force. And we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes, okay? But listen, he's also telling the jury. Look at this. He's telling the jury. But I'm telling you, it's clear. It's crystal clear. The facts are simple. The law is simple. No. You don't get to meet a shove with a stab, especially if you provoke. Y'all, do y'all see the prosecution's language? Do y'all see this? Let me stop getting emotional. And then look at this. What did I tell you? This is how he's talking to the jury. What did I tell you? Does this sound like a prosecution with the right state of mind? And then when I saw that videotape of him on Nancy Grace, the way that Nancy disgraced, the way that prosecution Wilski, knowing behind the scenes before we knew about it of the secret men's agreement, he was like, yeah, I'm surprised Karmelo Anthony didn't take the stand. I don't know why his lawyer didn't know he didn't have to take the stand. Wilski, prosecution Wilski, you sat up there on Fox News the day of the conviction and you said with a bald-faced lie that you surprised that Karmelo Anthony did not take the stand. Look how he's talking to the jury, y'all. What did I tell you? And I just wrote it up here. Look, do you see this? This is what the prosecution said. And I just wrote it up here. I don't like to read necessarily, but I am. On that day, for reasons or reasons unknown. Did y'all see what the prosecution, even the prosecution in his closing statements is talking hypothetical? For reasons or reasons unknown, he decided to bring a knife. Well, where's the premeditated murder then? Where's the premeditated murder? Because premeditated murder means that Karmelo Anthony, he went to the track meet to do one thing and one thing specifically, yet Karmelo Anthony was under the tent first. And yet, and I already showed you, premeditated murder says you have to show the intent. Where's the motive? Prosecutor said, I don't want to talk about the motive. He said the motive is not important. What are we talking about here, Collin County? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Listen. He pulled a knife he had hidden in the backpack and swiftly and suddenly plunged it intentionally into the chest of another young man. So much that he ended his life. Oh, no, he didn't. We just read from that witness after Austin got hit by somebody. He fell down the bleachers on his bike, got up, stood up. He was walking along the fence line, the guardrail. He lifted up his shirt. He said, oh my God. Then everybody, whoo, when yelling and hollering and screaming and calling 911. Austin Metcalf. So if I'm going to raise the question, then I'm going to let y'all go. If Karmelo Anthony hit him with enough force to hit his sternum or break his sternum, how could Austin Metcalf get up, talk until he collapsed? Does that make sense? 130 pounds. I'm gonna leave that to y'all. I'm gonna listen. So, Navarra, I hope I answered your question. The prosecution said that the motive is nothing. The prosecution said, I don't want to talk about no motives. He said, I told you from day one when I was up here, for reasons unknown, that's not important, is motive. What we talking about? Collins County, we got an issue. The prosecution called witness that did not see anything, so you convince a circumstantial evidence when you had a clear video. Come on with it, Bunny. Thank you, Bunny. Prosecution need to be prosecuted. They scared to have Hunter to get on the stand because he would end up, oh, he's going there, Cynthia. He's going there, trust me. Tyler is not a knife. The cop said it was a multi-tool and it was legal to have. Everybody has been their cop. Plus the blade on the tool is beneath the state law, which they said nothing about 5 inches. Come on with it. Come on with it. Exactly. First degree murder charges without a weapon, without DNA, and 9 witnesses who said the scuffle. Come on, nobody ain't said nothing. Come on with it. Knife, multi-tool, whatever you want to call it. The object itself is relevant since it's legal in Texas. Well, guess what, Navarra? The prosecution agreed not to introduce whatever happened it was into court. Why is that? He said he didn't want to have to worry about putting gloves on, but they brought a replica in a box. So why would the prosecution not bring the actual M weapon to court, the weapon that actually caused the fatal incident under the tent? We got an issue. Definitely railroad. I thought you had to have a motive. By law, yes. Said Karmelo was right for hiding his weapon because the law don't want him to brandish the weapon. Fact, brandish. Fact. I know I brought that up, but I meant that the prosecutor said Karmelo was wrong for hiding his weapon. You good? Wow, you good? Back and forth, in and out is Austin going into the knife. Ooh, and then him moving out back from the knife, then started running and falling down backwards. Oh. Austin did all this damage to himself, basically. I agree with you.